Hi, this is Explain. This is another Explore. We have explored the full power Gridman, but the Gridman support mech can still combine into on their own by themselves without Gridman into powered Zenon. Now, why do we have the support mechs in their vehicle mode? That is because that's easier to get into the combination of powered Zenon. And yes, like I have mentioned, these parts coming with Gridman are for powered Zenon. So let's get started. And here we have powered Zenon. Now, unfortunately, he is pretty big, or way taller than any individual mech, so let's zoom out a little bit. There we go, we can get most of power Zenon into the frame. I can probably use his arm to stable it. Oh, we don't. We just let the sword arm. Or we just let it rest on his sword arm. As you can see, the knee part replaces the drill bits. It is not as clean as full power Gridman. In the combination that you have a lot of bits left over, but it is otherwise more solid compared to full power Gridman. Sure, you can still see when I move the arm, the tracks might get moved, and the wings of Sky Vita do block the arm movement a bit, but overall it is a lot more solid when you move it around. And amazingly it can bend its knee 90 degrees, which is not possible for full power Gridman. It can even do a stepping pose. Again, very hard for full power Gridman to do. Big cannons on Battle Tractor Max is still functional. The elbow joints are locked, so are the fist, by the heel parts. You can, this is not part of the original law, but you can extend the shoulders for looks if you want to, because the arm joint is actually coming from the leg. But you can use whatever free degree of freedom you got in drill bore to move. Gridman Caliber just become a giant staff blade pretty much. But yeah, which is just marvelous with the overall brickiness of powered Zenon. It is a lovable brick like the original God Zenon. And oops, when I talk about sturdiness, but you know, these are relatively big pigs that you wouldn't worry about them even if they come off. They are solid enough on their own. You can tuck in the wings so that while the arms would get interfered, but it does not as much in other positions. Despite leaving all other parts on the side, full power Zenon managed to store the Max Gridman helmet and Sky Gridman helmet. So yeah, other than not having elbow for an arm. Oh, and of course, because Gridman Caliber now have a more solid blade attachment, it doesn't come loose as easily. So yeah, oh, standing test of course, just for fairness. You can see even with the natural twist, power Zenon stand up with zero problems. That's the beauty of being a brick. So yeah, a beautiful, beautiful brick of a support Mac powered Zenon. And you know what? Let's have a good photo with Gridman. This is the SSSS.Gridman Super Minipla Saga. Overall, a bit on the expensive side compared to the Super Shock Gundam that we had looked at. Each one of these costs just as much or about as much, and maybe a bit cheaper if you're overseas because shipment works out in favor for these guys, but otherwise they do have more color separation. The overall design is more intricate, and because the Gridman designs are not designed to be candy toys in the first place, so having authentic representation in, I wouldn't say low, but relatively reasonable price range, it is great. Is it a mistake for them to go for authentic full power Gridman combination and making the rest of the series suffer? Not really. I mean, sure, you can just have Gridman in one set and then the other set can functionally combine, or have a, you can have Gridman in its Gridman box with a solid Gridman with extra joints designed for full power Gridman. That's one way to do it. Or you have authentic design for the support max as well. And I think they strike a decent balance. Sure, the powered Zenon parts shuffle into Gridman might be a bit much, but overall I don't find any of the box sets easier or simpler or less complicated. Even Battle Tractor Max just being a truck with fixed wheels, it is quite a complicated piece because it have to be a pair of arms. Sky Vita have to be legs, arms, and backpack have its own shake, and Buster Ball is amazing that it can stretch into a spider and then back to the solid piece. So it depends. If you can find it on sales, it is a good alternative compared to other completed versions because you can have your own quality control on it. But I would hope for an RG or HG for these guys, so they would have a fair shake on having both playability and quality control, really. Or maybe, just maybe, they will bring up a Robot Spirit or a Takala combiner that would, on a bigger scale, because these guys are still relatively small. So maybe that would work better for Gridman, especially, since Gridman is a rubber suit Super Sentai Power Ranger type character. It fits perfect. It is completely reasonable to give it a Power Ranger like release with a big combiner, just have big joints with spring locks and everything, just for the playability of it. But of course, being so much more intricate compared to Power Ranger Max, the price may be up there. But we also got Masterpiece Transformers, and we got some new DX, Super DX, or Robot Spirit, Power Ranger / Super Sentai Toys Max, Zoids. Anyways, so who knows? Either way, still a good option if you want to build it yourself and you don't mind not getting all the colors correctly. Something that is somewhat playable and you note how well it went, instead of having quality control issues that you may not find out after X number of time playing it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.